Yeah, it's just all back end processes, and I'm grateful that I don't know if you know Brett Rakowski, but Brett is my COO. I met him through Josh's group actually, and he had a marketing company called Optimized Real Estate, and so Brett and I connected 6 or so years ago. And he moved to Nashville. And when he did, he called me up and was like, "Hey, man, like I've got optimized. I'm looking for a place that I can run it." And I was like, "Hey, I got some empty spots in my office if you want to come work here." And then, long story short, and the funniest part is, I needed a CMO at the time, and so I was like, "Bro, I need your help. But if you want the job, I need you to fire this person from marketing because I'm terrible at firing people." And he was like, "I got you." So he went and fired her, and then he started the next Monday.
Oh, so he just replaced her with himself.
Yeah, basically.
Got you. Got you. Okay, so you hired him as a CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, right? And he is now your Chief Operating Officer.
Correct.
So he's like a
Yep.
second in command.
He is. Yeah. That is
Got it.
literally the title that he calls himself, second in command.
Second in command. Okay, so how does your like org chart looks like right now? I mean, so you got you're the founder and CEO, you're the visionary. You got Brett, who's the I'm assuming he's like an integrator, right? And who else do you have in your company right now?
Yeah. So first, I believe in an inverted org charts. I'm not the most important person in the company, but the brokers who are frontline to the agents are the most important. So we go top down, we go brokers at the top, then we go to support personnel, and then we go to the president's level, and then the C level. And so I'm at the very bottom of the org chart as CEO, and then I've got Brett as COO. I've got a president of agent operations who oversees the brokers and managing all that side, plus the compliance components. And he was a 20-year broker at Remax before. And so he came over for that. And then, we've got miscellaneous support, accounting, HR, agent support. And then we've got some VAs that we work with as far as like implementation stuff on the back end, onboarding, things of that nature. And then all of our brokers. And I think we probably have, God, when you factor state brokers, area brokers, et cetera, I think we're probably sitting at like 22 brokers would be my guess, something like that.
So these are like managing brokers or designated brokers, right? And they're responsible for each location.
Yep.
So when you're going national, right? So when you're expanding to, let's say, Florida market or North Carolina market, you start with a managing broker or designated broker.
Yeah. So we start with a state broker who can be licensed for us to operate within that whole state.
Uh-huh.
And then as we start to get attention in a certain area, we'll bring in area brokers. So Florida, for an example, we have an area broker here in Space Coast, which is like Titusville next to Orlando. And then we have an area broker in 30A, which is like Destin, Panama City, all that. And then our state broker is based in Sarasota, and he covers down into like Naples, Marco Island, and up to like north of Tampa, Clearwater. And then we're about to likely bring on a team out in Fort Lauderdale, so they'll have their area manager will run Miami up to the bottom of Space Coast, which is Melbourne, Vero Beach area.
Okay. And so these brokers, obviously, they're in charge of compliance first and foremost, supporting the agents.
Yeah, so just supporting the agents.
Just support,
Yeah, so we centralize compliance. We centralize that. So we have a head of compliance who manages all that from an oversight perspective, and then all of our contract to close team manages all compliance from a transactional perspective. So our head of compliance handles like E&O licenses, things of that nature. And then the TCs are handling all the deals. And then we have the head of compliance random audit deals on the TC side to ensure that everything's being done the appropriate way.
Gotcha. Now, your brokers are also recruiting agents. They're meeting with agents or
not even that. So we've built a recruiting team. So like we just introduced a revenue share model 3 weeks ago that is 7 levels, just like EXP, the whole thing. But one of the things that I have always hated about many of those interactions that I've had with those companies has been that everyone is the recruiter and they're just selling themselves to the growth side. For us, I want to maintain a quality perspective of the brand. And so we built out this recruiting team where all our brokers or agents have to do is give us a warm connection. And then our recruiting team goes, schedules the meeting, holds the meeting, and recruits them. And when they recruit them, they auto add them to the downline of the individual who referred them. So we're doing it that way so we can keep everyone's time free. For me, like one of the things that I missed out on while I was building this company was like ages 3 to 7 with my kids. Right. I was so busy doing this that I was missing dinners and missing this and missing that. But I don't want everyone else to miss those same things. And so I don't think it's fair for me to say, hey, brokers, you got to be recruiters, you got to be compliance, you got to be support, you got to be this, you got to be that. So we're centralizing all of those components and making it to where even our agents aren't having to recruit. They just say, hey, I just did a deal with this guy and he was fantastic. And I think he'd be a great fit at Simply Home. Can you hit him up? And our recruiting team goes, hey, they just did a deal with you. They said you're amazing. Let's sit down and have a meeting. They'll sit down, have the whole recruiting conversation. Then we auto add to the downline and they're making revenue share off of them from that point forward.